So everything in life isn't gonna always work. You're not gonna always get what you go after. You're not gonna always get the job you go after. You're not gonna always have the fairy tale relationship you may want. Um, things just gonna go left sometimes. But how do you respond? How do you react? How do you continue to be a solid person even when the storms of life are raging against you? And that's not even an easy thing to think about. It's definitely not an easy thing to go through. It's just a difficult thing to even talk about, which is probably why most reasons is not even spoken about when things go left, when things aren't the way they're supposed to be in the world. As you see, most movies and things focus on fairy tale issues. Everything goes right. They may have a stumbling block here and there, but and eventually in the end, everything ends up great. What if you continue to have stumbling blocks and things just don't go right in your mind? How do you continue to stay solid, continue to focus, continue to do the things necessary to stay on the road to becoming the person that you ultimately feel you should be? Now, it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of thoughts, a lot of erasing negative thoughts, because if 2 or 3 things don't go your way, you're gonna start to have negative thoughts, and that's just a real fact. If you go to apply for a job and you had your eye on this job for the longest time and you feel like I got it in the bag, and you go to the interview and you feel like you aced the interview and they choose another person, you're gonna be shattered. Your confidence is gonna take a hit, right? And that's natural. That's a natural fact, because you had so much positivity built up, like you had so much confidence in yourself that you were gonna succeed, and then you didn't. Um, for that, the way that you rebound is just keep. I say it often, like you gotta keep pushing. Now, for some people, you're gonna be like, man, keep pushing. Why would I? I just should just give up. But you can't give up. You can't go into it with that mindset. You got to keep the mindset of, I have to keep going. I got to keep pushing because I have a goal in mind. So boom, first thing, set a goal. Okay. So you didn't get the job that you want. So you got to set a goal to obtain a job that, can get you to the next steps, right? Because sometimes you got to take steps in between getting to your final step. You can't just always rush to the top floor. Sometimes you got to stop in the middle, work your way up, and then, you get to where you want to go. And that's what I would do in the job situation. Now, it may or may not work. It may take a couple times. It may, take you a couple steps to get to where you're going. But eventually, if you continue to push and continue to put in the work, especially if it's something that you really want to go after, if you continue to work at it and chip away, you're going to see the ultimate result that you've been waiting for, right? But like I said, things not always going to go right. Sometimes they're going to go left. You just still have to stay focused and still remain confident in yourself. Now, it could happen in your personal life too. And a lot of people don't focus on this because people, I mean, in my opinion, people treat people like chess pieces or checker pieces. You jump, you hop one person, you get to the next, or you knock one person off and you remove a piece and put another piece in, and you don't really ever get to where you call your destination. But if you in a relationship and it doesn't go right, how do you fix that? Or how do you fix yourself? So I've always said that you have to look inward first. You gotta look inward. You gotta see what you could fix. Because a lot of times you get in a relationship, you feel like, or you break up or whatever the case is, and you start to feel like, well, I didn't do anything wrong. In most cases, it takes 2 to tango. If somebody's walking away, it's because parties have done wrong things, okay? And you have to, aside from being angry at whatever the situation is, you have to look inside yourself and see that, there's some things that you can ultimately fix about you, and there's some things that you can improve. And then, of course, again, this isn't like a rush to the top. You got to take steps. You got to start, getting yourself back out there, start to see, what life is like. In some cases, you got to sit by yourself and go through some things first before you can move on to the next thing. And I would advocate for that. I would advocate that you sit and kind of reflect and just think about what, you can do better in the next situation so that you don't repeat the same mistakes twice or three times or however many times it is. You don't want to be a repeat offender. You want to be able to be yourself, but a brand new you with new, with new thoughts and feelings. Don't go into it with the same thoughts and feelings you had the last time, because it's just gonna, it's just gonna go bad. It's just gonna end, and it's gonna end the same way, and you just gonna, eventually give up. And nobody wants to see anybody give up on, relationships and love and things of that nature. It's a very important piece of life to have love and have people around you that you love and can care for. Okay, so with that, you gotta take some steps. You gotta start at floor 1, get to floor 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and then ultimately you get to 10, where you find that person that you can connect with and click with again, and then boom, you on to the next thing. It's important to have like these type of thoughts, like what do you do when it goes left? Because everything isn't gonna always be perfect. You're gonna have some good days, you're gonna have some bad days, some good times, some rough times. And you got to prepare yourself for it. You can't always think that everything's going to work out in your favor, because then if you get that type of mindset, when something goes wrong, you're not going to know how to handle it. You're going to go off the rails and overreact and do things that aren't necessarily useful in life. So prepare yourself. And I would even say, in some cases, if you have, children or younger people around you, tell them everything's not going to go right. Just tell them the flat out truth. Everything's not a Disney movie. Everything's not, always great. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things don't go the way you plan, but you still have to keep going. And that's just my number one word for the day. Keep going. Take your time. Progress. Slow progress is better than no progress. And always remember that. So peace and love. This is the I'm Not a Hater podcast. I'm out.